Hey guys. Uh, so, there's one important thing that INTPs need to get through their heads. This is really critical for all INTPs. This person commented in one of my videos, saying how INTPs need to develop their SI. And I was confused by that. That doesn't make any sense. I thought that the INTPs have to develop their NE. That's the general idea, at least. Like you have to, to get out of the TI-SI loop, you have to develop your NE. That makes sense to me, and that's what I did. I developed my NE, and I'm better now. It's like a cure or a treatment or something like that. But then after I read his comment or her comment, explaining what they meant by that, and it makes perfect sense. Now I understand. Now I understand things. Now I understand what I've been lacking and missing most of my life, and what is this thing I've been trying to understand and explain. Now it makes sense, and now I'm making this video to explain that and talk about that and see how that fits in the bigger picture, especially in my life. Now, what they meant by develop their SI and not their NE is, by developing SI, you won't be using SI, you will be using NE. Now, the SI NE axis is very interesting. So SI is kind of like, it's the opposite of NE. Now, NE is about exploration, right? But SI is about staying in your comfort zone, finding out what works for you and sticking to that. Now, in general, to find what works for you is by exploring through NE until you find something that fits you, that works for you, and you stick with that with your SI. That's how this axis works together. Now, SI is not just about what works for you, it's also about your bank of knowledge, your bank of experiences. It's your storage of skills. That's what SI is. And to develop SI is to expand that bank, is to expand what you can do with your life, and what you are capable of doing, your skills, your knowledge, your abilities, as things that you can do. So in my case personally, I don't know how to do my laundry. I don't know how to cook in general, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to make food. I don't know how to buy groceries and stuff like that. The basic home stuff, I have no idea how to do that. If my car breaks down, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. Basic social skills, I barely have that, if at all, actually, So my SI is severely underdeveloped, and I need to develop it. And I noticed that with life experiences, like if I travel, like at times that I traveled, my job right now, exploring the world outside my comfort zone, outside my home, outside my family, that really makes me feel confident. It makes me feel secure with myself and self-reliant and independent. It's because with those experiences, I am expanding and developing my SI. And that's what INTPs need to do. That's very critical. Develop your SI. You develop your SI by using your NE, by exploring, by doing things, by acquiring life experience. By not using SI, you develop SI. This is the most important thing. By not using SI, you develop SI. I don't really know this for certain, but I'm fairly certain that if I learn how to do my bed, I know how to do that. Actually, it's just not very easy. I'm not used to it, but if I learn how to clean my room, if I learn how to do my laundry, if I figure out how to clean my suit, I still haven't done that yet. If I figure out those basic things, I'll feel I smell smoke, but I don't see anyone smoking. If I do those things, I'll feel a lot more confident in myself. I'll feel a lot more secure. And I just now I realized that the reason I stutter most likely is because my SI is underdeveloped, so I don't feel confident in what I'm saying, and so I feel hesitant. That causes me to stutter. But when I talk about things that I am 100% certain of and secure in knowing about, I don't stutter as much. I noticed that, and so it's now possible that the way to cure my stutter is to just develop my SI. That's very possible. I just realized that just now. And so I think that INTPs in general, what their goal should be, what they should be aiming for, is to develop their SI. Develop, I mean, I don't know where you are coming from and what you're lacking in your life, but I'm using myself here as an example. See, I've lived my entire life in a semi religious and a conservative family in the suburbs, in a conservative society, a Muslim country in the Middle East. I've stayed my entire life in my comfort zone. I went through my education in public schools, and now I'm in Kuwait University. So I never went outside the borders of the SI culture, the SI suburban families scope. I never explored. I never did those things. I never learned how to do the basic things in life. I never learned basic social skills. I never did any of that, and part of me still feels like I am severely underdeveloped as a person. I don't know how to do the basic things in life. I'm still somewhat scared to even go out. You know, it's still a nerve wrack for me to do the basic things that people generally find easier, like talking to people. It's very basic, you know, but it's still scared a bit, just a bit of that. And so that's the indicator that my SI is severely, dangerously underdeveloped. And so I need to develop that. And I think that I just wrote in my journal today, I think it was yesterday actually, that I've always felt somewhat lightweight, that I can easily be shaken, but I never knew what that means. I never understood that. I just knew that it was somehow related to life experience, and by gaining life experience, I'm less easy to shake or to, you know, control, to manipulate. But now I understand that it's directly it is directly linked to developing my SI, because my SI has been severely underdeveloped. So it's like I'm not. It's kind of like a bank, and I mean it's kind of like your inventory of knowledge, experience, skills, something like that. And mine is so small that I'm not able to anchor myself and assert myself. And it's because it's too small, it's too tiny, it's too insignificant. You can just play with it around. You can just knock it off the field. It's not massive, it's not scary, it's nothing. And so I need to develop it, make it bigger so that I can carry myself, you know. I hope that makes sense. That analogy, that visualization of SI, it's been in the back of my mind for most of my life, and now I finally have an understanding of it. Thank you for that person that made that comment. You might have just changed my life forever. You might have just made a huge difference in my life in a way that I don't know if I was going to easily find out about, because I was confusing the hell out of me. I always thought that NE is not something to develop, and at the same time I was always convinced that my NE is strong. My intuition is powerful. It's not weak. I can rely on it. It's powerful. It can do lots of things. But you know, now I have a much better understanding, and I have a much stronger sense of direction on where to go next and why. And so it's the same thing for everyone else. I mean, Type Tips on YouTube has a video called The Hidden Agenda. It's a socionics thing that talks about, I think it's the tertiary function or the seventh function. I think it's the tertiary though, or it's the seventh, I'm not sure. But I've always known that the tertiary function is kind of unique in that it's a weak spot. Something like that. Not really sure about the details, but it's something like it's where you go to when you're stressed. It's a special thing. I'm not sure what to say about it, but it's a special thing. So my SI has always been something for me to look at because it's my tertiary. But I never knew what to look at. I never knew what to do with it. It's just something about my SI, but I never know what. Now I know what. And so INTPs and probably INFPs also have to develop their SI through using their NE. So use your NE, explore, do things, do new things. Like my therapist described it as playing around. So he described NE. He doesn't really know much about the cognitive functions and MBTI and typology, but it after I talked a bit about what NE is, he described NE as playing around. So it's like a child. It's like how a child wants to play around, and how a child plays around with toys, plays around with, oh, let's see what this does. Oh, let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, what happens over there? Let's take a look at that and let's see what's going on there. So it's playing around. I can't describe it as well as my therapist did. But it's just playing around. So play around with reality, play around with life, play around with your surroundings, play around with your experiences. Just don't take it so seriously that you're scared of tinkering with it. No, just feel free to tinker around, feel free to play around with it and see what happens. I mean, if you're the kind of person if you're the kind of INP, sorry, if you're the kind of INP that that locks themselves down and restricts themselves, do the complete opposite. Do the complete opposite. And just what helped me do that, what helped me break out of that chain, is to just objectively understand that I'm not gonna die if I do this. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Oh, I might feel horrible because I'm so used to being chained in my safe zone. But so what? After some period of time, I'm gonna go back to feeling safe. So that feeling of badness is gonna go away, and as a result, I'll have experienced something new, seen a new perspective, and developed my SI a bit further. And so I kept doing that over and over and over again as much as I could for a few weeks maybe, and I kind of gotten out of my TI-SI loop of death, and that helped, and that made me develop my SI a lot more. And now I'm feeling a lot better than ever. I'm feeling more in touch with my reality. I'm feeling more present. I'm feeling more confident, feeling more what I consider normal. And so this, again, I just want to make this entire video about this one thing: developing your SI. And what that means to develop your SI is to not use SI, is to use your NE. I said that before, I'm saying it again. Use your NE to develop your SI. And developing your SI as an INP is absolutely critical in feeling capable and feeling able to take on the world. It might be an Enneagram 5 thing, I don't know, but that's what I learned so far from my life experience. This is really critical, and to do that is to get out of your comfort zone, is to get out of your safe zone, is to play around with life, play around with stuff until you see things, like just explore and embody exploration, and forget about safety, forget about security, because that's not even security, it's just your perception of security. I'm kind of talking to myself, but I hope you guys can relate to what I'm talking about here, because I don't know it objectively, I only know it subjectively through my subjective experience. And so far this has served me very, very well.